everybody. Welcome to this new edition of the Chill Zone. This is called Chilling on the Couch. It's a new little thing I've been waiting a long time to actually put into play. This is something that's going to be a little bit different. No real gameplay in this. No real gameplay in this. This is me talking with all of you about whatever. It's a wonderful little thing. So, conversations will be driven by you. We could talk about anything from history to contemporary to Disney. I don't care, as long as it doesn't hit as long as it doesn't hit politics. And if it does get there, well, I hope it just doesn't go completely and utterly stupid. So, hey, I probably could. We're not quite that sophisticated yet. By the way, like to welcome. I already got Adam in the chat. Welcome, Adam. I got Wolfie in the chat. How you guys doing tonight? Everybody doing well? I hope. And I hope that the audio quality is good, because the mic is in a totally different place now. It's a little bit further away from me. By the way, we have a new camera placement right on top of the microphone stand, so it actually kind of works. I guess I could probably try. Totally possible, if I can get it to work. Oh, let's see. Okay. I'll have to. I can figure something else a little bit later for that, because I actually have to do it. It's a trap. What's up, Haas? Welcome to the chat, my dude. Oh. So, hey, I can. Wolfie, I'll work on the audio part of this too, okay? This is like the first time I actually got this thing. Got this thing to work. By the way, the fact I even got this to work this well is unbelievable. You started twice. You streamed twice and you got nothing. What's up, Haas? And Adam, well, your wife slapped you. You know, I'm about ready to sit there and call, spousal abuse or something. What the hell are you doing? Eat a sandwich. Well, learn how to defend yourself, my dude. As long as she didn't slap you in the junk, you should be alright. So this is kind of an interesting thing, because I actually am reading my chat off of an iPad over by, obviously you can see, it's a couch. So, hey, beautiful thing, huh? Absolutely. You got our car muddy? Need to wash your car, dude. Life of a streamer, Wolf. That's what it is. I've sat in these things for a while. Maybe got one person, maybe two at the most. Sometimes I've sat there and talked to nobody. It was like having a it was like having a conversation with myself, except, you know, I went to a deep mud hole. What did it do? Sink up to the roof or something? Would you take it? You take it out to you take it out mudding? You know, driving through fields and whatever. Yikes, bro. Ah, there we go. Ah. Yeah, you got to have a little fun. Had a rough and busy day, Haas. Well, shit. By the way, to do the pass, I just thought about it. Do the pass through on the audio. I actually have to be at my desk because I don't have anything that's long enough to come over here. That's something I'll have to work on. I'm lucky the mic extends over this way. Well, that sucks, Wolfie. That doesn't take much. I love them both, but all I can ask is, what did you do? All right. What did you do? Oh, yikes. Yeah, I know, I do too. This is kind of one of those, I wanted to kick this thing off a little bit and find a way to do it as best I can and yada, yada, yada. But I always do appreciate you stopping by, Haas. I says hi to the group chat and sorry for talking while they were playing. When I came back, I was gone from the group chat. I don't know. That wasn't that's their decision. So, with that being said, what would you guys like to talk about? It's a free forum, within reason, of course. We're not going to go too stupid. We're not going to get too stupid. I appreciate it, Haas. Really. The Russian sleep experiment? Are we talking about the experiment where they force people to stay up for extreme long periods of time so they can create ways of mind control and some sort of stuff like that. It's a good subject, but damn. Wow. Always like some good Russian sleep experiment talk. Or you say lack of sleep. Sleep, their lack of. Kind of like me every single day. They could probably do a study on me not getting any sleep. Hold on. There we go. I'll work on that later. Okay, bye then. I have no idea who it is. I'll look it up. Actually, let's find out. I got this sitting here. What the heck? Hmm. Okay then. That was next to useless. Never do a Google search. Let's try something else. I see. Alrighty then. So what else can we try to talk about? Something maybe I don't have to sit there and stare at my phone or hit links to try to bring them up on my audio because I'm actually using. Because I'm actually using the capture card screen. Because you've noticed there's no webcam, so I had to do a quick inversion. That's why you're getting full screen me. Ooh. Mm. USS Missouri history. Welp. Let's see. Okay. I'll tell you what I know off the cuff, by the way, without me looking anything up. I've been causing eye damage for years, Haas, so it doesn't affect me one bit. I gotta, and just think of it this way: I gotta look at myself every single day. So how do you think I feel? Oh God, help us all. Mm-hmm. Oops. Yay. Well, yeah. You're in the doghouse. Is it at least heated? Could you put a mini fridge out there? Maybe a TV? Turn into a pseudo man cave? Can always do that. That actually could be kind of fun. Like, honey, I'm going to the doghouse now. So, let's see. Going back to what Wolfie was trying to pry out of me. The USS Missouri, we're talking BB 63, not the Mizzy, its predecessor. Am I correct on that? The one that had a turret explosion in it. Hey, at least the dog is warm. All right. We have to be relatively good, man. Is the bar in the fridge going into? Got cable out there? I don't have a doghouse. I have a basement. So I got thrown down here. So what do? I put a streaming studio in. Well, let's see. By the way, a little interesting piece of little nugget history. The Mizzy, the predecessor to BB-63, um, that was the one of the first ships that Bill Halsey served on, and he developed a very serious phobia of the number 13 because on Friday the 13th, the number one gun exploded on the Mizzy, killing several sailors. So he had a very serious thing with the number 13 for the rest of his career. No, Wolfie. The Mizzy. The previous incarnation of the Missouri. Not the Missouri, not BB-63. Different Missouri. Okay, as long as we got that clear. But I'm going to off the cuff this. Obviously, USS Missouri is the third of 4 completed Iowa class battleships. She was ordered, I believe, about mid-year 1940. She was laid down probably about 8-9 months later on. Yes. She was launched the beginning in 1944. Yeah. So she didn't make it into the Pacific to sometime probably late 44. But for that short amount of time, and when she ended up, she had that little thing on her deck. They kind of had like a little party. Hey, thanks, Haas. You have yourself a good night, my dude, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by. I understand. She launched at the beginning of 44, and she was commissioned probably about halfway through 1944. Thank you very much. Absolutely do that. Have a good night, Haas. But being that particular thing, obviously her ringing, her massive claim to fame, even though she had a relatively interesting career, being commissioned and decommissioned multiple times, and finally being decommissioned permanently in 1993. Ooh, sit. There we go. Obviously, her biggest claim to fame was the surrender ceremony in Tokyo Bay. One of the interesting things that actually a little side piece that people don't really know about, if people really don't care, but if anybody knows anything about naval history or naval tradition and custom, is that usually the highest ranking an admiral on board a ship has the right and tradition to break their flag over that ship. Okay, no other person was standing. If someone of a higher rank comes on board, that person can then break their flag out. Interesting piece of information. On the Missouri's foremast, flew the one time in U.S. history Hey, Gan. Welcome. I'll give you that in 1 second, Adam. The on the foremast, what ended up happening is that General MacArthur was on board. He asked then Admiral Halsey, who obviously was using that as a flagship, about breaking his flag out because he's never had a flag break. Yeah, they had an explosion in their number 2 turret during an exercise. killing multiple sailors. So one of the things that MacArthur asked if he could get his flag, he's never had his flag broken out over a ship. I know a bit about it. If I can get there, I can address it. So he was wondering whether or not that could happen. Now, like I said, it was blamed on an overpressurization caused by the possibility of too many powder charges jammed into the barrel itself. The misfire, well, there really wasn't a misfire. It was an overpressurization which caused a backflash, blew the turret. They did blame. I forgot the name. It'll come to me later. There was one sailor that was blamed for that. It was an ongoing controversy. It kind of still is. But going back to MacArthur. Now you see, under tradition, yeah, technically, but it was an overpressurization because of the powder bags. It was considered to be a well, we're talking about the USS Iowa herself. We're also kind of jumping back to the Missouri. What's up, Bismarck? Welcome. I'm not really playing any ships. We're just talking about stuff. That's all. The name of the stream is Chilling on the Couch. This is kind of a new little thing I'm going to be doing every once in a while, where just going to sit back and just drive some conversation, throw some knowledge out there, whatever, push it back and forth. It's going to be just something that's going to be driven by you guys. Unless you guys aren't here, then I'll have to come up with some of my own shit. But no one wants me to do that. But going back to this is kind of USS Barb. That almost that sounds like a submarine. We talking about? I'll have to check that one out. Give me 1 second. I gotta finish this stock. If I don't finish this, my brain's gonna explode. So here's the thing: we have MacArthur was on board. MacArthur wanted his colors broken at the foremast, but there's a problem on the naval tradition. Yeah, that's the one that shot the train. Okay. Oh yeah, she hit a ship. Destroyed the front part of her bow. Her bow was actually replaced from the bow of the unfinished USS Kentucky. And this is where the USS Wisconsin got her nickname, the Whiskey. And actually made her longer. So anyway, but there's a problem. Naval tradition says that the highest ranking naval officer would breaks out their flag at the foremast. So the highest ranking naval officer present at the Pacific at the signing in Tokyo Bay was who? Come on, chat. Who was it? And I'll give extra credit points if somebody can actually tell me what he was using as a temporary flagship. I'll wait here. Do we need some music from like Jeopardy? Da 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 da. You giving up already, Bismarck? The Golden Rivet. Actually, I have not. No, MacArthur was the highest-ranking overall officer. Period. But the flag that gets broken out on a ship is usually the highest-ranking naval officer. So, the officer in question is Fleet Admiral Chester W. Nimitz. So, by right, when he came aboard the Missouri for the signing, Dewey. By right, if he comes aboard a ship, his... Oh, yeah, funny. By right, he has his flag broken out on the mast. By the way, nobody wanted to guess on what the flagship for Nimitz was. In case you want to know, or you don't, it's the USS South Dakota. Served as Nimitz's flagship while he was at the Tokyo signings. Anyway. Now we had a question in here about the Golden Rivet. Honestly, I have not. Is there any Brits in here? I would say at the moment no, but I am of British heritage. A little Irish, a little Scottish, mix. A little bit. I have a little fun with it. Kind of try to have a little fun with some naval history. I am a big fan of the Pacific War, World War II. Oh, by the way, there was a sub near the Bismarck when she went down. As in one that was already sunk. Now you want to talk about the Titanic. Well, obviously, she's the most famous ocean liner in history, one of the largest ships of her day. Supposedly, allegedly, she was going to be one of 3 sister ships, possibly 4, for the White Star Line that was supposed to do regular transfers across the Atlantic between Southampton and New York. RMS Olympic was the first one launched, so she was an Olympic class ship. Yep, she was an Olympic class. RMS Olympic was Black Sheep and the Red Tails. Yeah, that definitely sounds like the Navy. And they always gave us in the Marine Corps a lot of shit. we would just happily content in eating our crayons and taking out our aggression on the people they pointed at. Are you talking now? You said Black Sheep. Are you talking about VMF 214? Born in Plymouth. Which Plymouth? There's a lot of Plymouth. We talking about Plymouth, Massachusetts? Or Plymouth, England? The Corsairs. Yes, that's VMF 214. Black Sheep. Served in the Pacific. Commanding officer was Pappy Boyington. Medal of Honor recipient. Spent about a year and a half in as a POW. Plymouth. Okay. Racked up. He was also a Flying Tiger pilot. He was a Marine Corps pilot prior. Left the Marine Corps to go to China, where he learned new tactics under Chennault with the Flying Tigers. Came back in the Marine Corps after World War II started. The United States came into it, and I believe off the top of my head, he racked up I think it was 26 kills. One of the best, considered one of the greatest Marine Corps fighter pilots in history. And yeah, I have seen the Drain the Oceans. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, actually, he was arrested for drunk and disorderly. He was a well-known drinker. Yes, he did die broke. One of his last jobs was a technical. He was a technical advisor to the show that ended up becoming called with the name called Black Sheep Squadron. He also wrote a book. And actually, when he did die, there was a lot of resentment towards his Pappy Boyington. Greg Pappy Boyington. Well, yeah. But they're Russians. What can you expect? Yes, actually, it did. The wreck is, if I remember correctly, it's only in several hundred feet of water. It's actually not that far down. Yikes, interesting. Yeah, she's not that far down. She's been protected, um, not allowed to dive on the site without permission. Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah, no, you're not. It's actually a protected site. The Britannic, they don't let you dive on it. I'm very well aware of PTSD because I have it myself. Oh, absolutely. Much better preserved. But she didn't break apart like her sister did. And since she really didn't, she sank in relatively shallow water compared to her sister. So, yeah, the Drain the Ocean show is actually pretty cool. I watched some of it. I am Marine Corps, USMC. Well, the Titanic is interesting because, oh, you're welcome anytime. What's up, Imperial? Welcome, buddy. Wow, got a lively chat. I didn't think it was gonna be this. I didn't think it was gonna get this popular. Now, obviously no one knew what the condition of the Titanic's wreck was until Ballard discovered it and um, actually was got the submersible down there. Absolutely, it's a party, Adam. Very much appreciated. But they really were finally able to figure out what happened to the ship because I know that maybe Gan probably know. You've ever heard Canadian Air Force? Thank you very much. We'll see. And the ship got struck at the same spot as a coal fire. There's a lot of supposition in regards to that. You ever heard of the movie called Raise the Titanic? Oh, Canadian Armed Forces. I forgot that they combined. It's under a combined name. So technically, what branch? Army, Navy, Air Force? Damn, bro. Yeah, it's an interesting take. But again, that movie was made prior to actually them knowing what the actual condition of the wreck was. Ooh, 105s. Portable boom booms. Like those. Portable boom booms. Anyway, in case you want to know, I was Marine Corps Infantry. M60. Squad Automatic Weapon Carrier. Trained on the M60 M249 SAW. But hey, thank you. You guys are making me making this chat work, guys. So, that's what I like. I absolutely like that. Guys are making this. So. But finishing up the thing with the Titanic, though, they've been predicting for a long time, probably another. They're probably guessing another 20 to 30 years that wreck's not going to be there. It's going to collapse in on itself because of the titular strength of the steel, with all the because the rusticles, the bacteria that's pulling all the minerals and stuff out of the steel. It's basically become brittle and it's going to crash in on itself. That's right. That's why it's called chat. So they'll probably get a couple more dives on that thing before it actually does. Hey, Zach, welcome to the chat, buddy. Outstanding having you here. We're having a party in here. Now I'm gonna throw this out here because I'd like to maybe do a quick chat of something. One of the things that I kind of enjoy talking about. I'm a big fan of naval history. I'm also a very big fan of naval battles. Too many seeing pre-nukes. Yeah. What song did the play? What song? They never near my God to thee. It's an interesting thing. That is true. Damn, Gan gets the win. But it's actually, here's the funny thing though. There has been some contention about what the band was playing but that was the supposition. All right, here's a question for you. Battle of Midway. Go. Let's go down that thing and see how good this chat is. Fire it up. I'm throwing it out there. Guys, fire it up. We'll talk about the Battle of Midway. Let's find out. Let's get what you guys know. Let's talk about it. The big question is, why do they go down with the ship? Because it's easier than a divorce. How many CVs did Japan lose at Midway? 4 frontline carriers. Actually, 4 of the 6. Ooh, great quote. Yeah, see, 4 of the 6 carriers that actually attacked Pearl Harbor were present at the Battle of Midway. The Shirakaku and the Zuikaku were not present. They actually fought in the previous battle of Coral Sea. One was deplaned and the other one was damaged, so they didn't participate. But the Hiryu, the Soryu, the Kaga, and the Kaga, and the Akagi and the Kaga were all present at the Battle of Midway, and all 4 were sunk. 3 in the initial attack of dive bombers. Now, yeah, no, actually, for tonnage, yeah, actually, if you a good story for that, to get a good view of that is about the story of the Indianapolis. Japan, see, it's the interesting about saying Japan sailed into an ambush. It really wasn't. It was actually a flanking attack by the U.S. Navy. And by all rights, if you consider the tonnage that was involved, we shouldn't have won. Yeah, we also had intel because we were able we penetrated the JN the JN code, um, and we're able to figure out what was going on that they were planning on taking. And actually, it was Lieutenant Commander Rochford, who is at head of Station Hypo in Honolulu, who sort of kind of figured out that this was that the Japanese were looking to attack Midway, and he confirmed it by having a message flown out from Pearl to Midway, and then had the radio operator on Midway Island send it back in the clear for the Japanese to disseminate and send up the chain. And as soon as that message was sent, the Japanese sent that message and confirmed that AF, which was the designator, the code designator for Midway, they confirmed it. We relatively knew what ships, how many. They even found out that there was a message about about the post office code for the air station the Japanese were going to set up on Midway. And it was they also found documentation at the end of the war, stating that they coming from the so-called commander of the yard at Midway. Roger that. Go for it. Yeah, they did. Because there was some dissension in regards to Operation MI and Operation AO, which was the Aleutians operation. No, I haven't heard of 751 Squadron. And wait a minute, was that the chemical division? The chemical warfare division? I could be wrong. Ah, okay. So basically they're the ones that were working on different type of biological and chemical weapons. They were also in charge of Japan's um, atomic uh, atomic bomb studies. Yeah, they were. They're actually ahead of the Germans. They were very much ahead of the Germans in atomic theory. Yeah, see, there was a lot of people really didn't know about that because that was very much suppressed by the U.S. government and the Allies. Um, Obviously, and we made more of a big deal in regards to yes, yes we did because of the all this because of the Allied countries and Russia stealing German scientists and ballistic missile technology and a lot of stuff. So there was they wanted to keep that stuff to themselves. No, not necessarily, Zach. They looked at it as you have to look at it from the eye. I want to flip the script here. You have to look at it from the eyes of the Japanese. So here's a question for you: what prompted the Japanese to attack us at Pearl Harbor? What prompted us? What prompted the Japanese to do it? Part of it, yeah. All right, Gan, we'll be here. Good job, Gan. It's oil. That's a big part of it. We cut off their oil supply. We also cut off shipments of tin, rubber, and steel. We placed an embargo on them. So they really only had a couple of choices. And the choices were either give in to the United States in regards to what was going on in Southeast Asia, um, and what have you, and stop what they were doing and stop the war in China, or going south and getting these resources from the Dutch East Indies and other places in Malaysia and a lot of other places. Absolutely, really didn't give them much of a choice. So the big thing was the biggest threat to the Japanese was twofold. Obvious, well, actually threefold. One was actually resources, which they received over 80 to 85% of their resources came from the United States. Two, we also had control of the Philippines. So that actually cut off their ability. They'd have to send ships and planes and troops and everything else past U.S. forces in the Philippines, as sad as they were, if they wanted to do a push south. And third, the biggest threat to the Japanese was the Pacific Fleet. Now, what transpired was rather interesting because the Pacific Fleet was actually based in San Diego. It was ordered out to Pearl as a deterrent, also to be several miles. Well, they lost badly, but they would have been. It would have been. It would have been rather interesting. But I want to. I want to say this. So when the U.S. moved their fleet from San Diego to Pearl Harbor, they really looked at that as a particular chance of getting that strike off, to making sure that they could cripple the United States Navy prior to them making all their moves. Now, Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto had a general idea of knowing that if he could do enough damage to the American Pacific Fleet, that the Japanese Navy would have about a year or so to be able to achieve the objectives they need to achieve, plus set up a defensive barrier in some way to keep the United States from to stop the United States if they attacked back. What people don't understand was actually the Emperor of Japan, which was, I believe, Hirohito. He actually told the war cabinet, including Tojo, that he did not want what was the code name of the operation where Churchill and the U.S. met secretly with Germany to betray and disarm Russia, their ally? I actually do not know. Send it. I like dropping the knowledge. Are we talking in regards to the Battle of the Eastern Solomons? Operation Unthinkable. Huh. I'll have to take a look at that. Zach, which air battle are you talking about? There were several. In regards to Guadalcanal, both carrier and land based. But yeah, I will check that out. Well, Churchill definitely did not have. He definitely had the flair for the dramatic. Both of them, there were more than two, dude. There was at least, just off the top of my head, I can probably come up with about 3 separate carrier engagements, at least. Never mind uh, the land engagements from aircraft from Henderson Field. All right, but getting back to this other subject, because I'm going to finish my thought on Pearl Harbor before I lose it. So the Japanese were left without a real choice. So they can either defy the United States and go after the resources that they needed to continue um, their plan, so to speak, or capitulate to the United States. But prior to when Yamamoto actually put together the plan for the attack on Pearl Harbor, okay, that pretty much describes a lot of that because there was multiple air battles, big and small, in and around Guadalcanal. But the emperor basically told Tojo that he wanted to follow the Geneva Convention in regards to declaring war prior to an attack on the Americans. But the weird part of it was that Japanese secrecy and their perpetuance, their particular way to try to keep stuff from people finding out stuff, actually got in their own way in regards to delivering the document to Cordell Hull at the State Department. Which was actually more interesting is that the United States, we already broke their JN-21 diplomatic code. We were actually reading it, and we were receiving it, decoding it, and reading it faster than the Japanese were. Yes, they did. I'll get to that in 1 second. So the so we had an idea something was coming. We just didn't know where and what have you. But see, the biggest mistake wasn't. We like to say, oh, it was a sneak attack, and actually, it was a matter of happenstance. It became a sneak attack. Yes, the attack was supposed to happen within 45 minutes to an hour after the document was actually delivered to the State Department in Washington, D.C. Obviously, it didn't happen because they had trouble typing it and decoding it and blah, 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 and whatever. But the thing is this. The critical mistake with Pearl Harbor wasn't the attack itself. It was actually what they didn't hit. Forget the carriers. It doesn't really matter. The carriers are great. Would have been a great catch for the Japanese to get, but the thing was, the two major things that they did not get. The two major things that the Japanese did not get was the tank farm, which held the fuel for the Pacific Fleet, and the dockyards and dry docks. Had they taken out the fuel storage, that would have set the fleet back 6 to 8 months without being able to do extended operations in the Pacific of any kind. So that means that the Battle of Coral Sea would have never happened. The Battle of Midway would have never happened. Because the Pacific Fleet would not have had the fuel to do it. And yeah, it would have. And the other thing is, had they taken out the dry docks and the dockyards, the repair work that they did at Pearl, not only for the ships that were sunk, but for the ships that came back from battle 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, it would have been invaluable. It would have pushed the Pacific Fleet back to the west coast of the United States. So obviously we have a skewed view when we're looking at the attack on Pearl Harbor, but we have to have a balanced view to see that we actually, in our own way, kind of caused it. Now, that doesn't mean that we were looking to purposely start a war with Japan. No, we actually caused the Japanese to have no real choice to be able to do anything except to attack us. Now, going back to. Yeah, I know. Going back to the Russian army. Actually, yes, it was. And when you think about it, though, the Japanese won a battle and lost a war. No, I understand, Adam. The Japanese won the battle but lost the war. And when you consider this, I mean, Admiral Nimitz basically said, after he really looked at the damage, after he was several months down the road, he actually took a look at that and said, technically the United States only lost 2 old battleships. 2. All the other ships were repaired and put back in the fight, with the exception of Arizona and Oklahoma. I'm not counting the Utah. Utah was a target ship. It was... Germany fucked up. Yeah, they fucked up quite a bit. That was the first major fuck up. They didn't learn... Obviously, they didn't learn from Napoleon that you don't attack the Russians. The country's too vast, or whatever. Their second problem... Yeah, Arizona and Oklahoma. Actually, Oklahoma was raised. They were sending her back to... They actually raised her and patched her up to actually get her back to the West Coast to get scrapped. She sank. Yeah, I probably could, Exerflex. That would be Stalingrad. That you're talking about, Adam. Well, one of the more interesting things, well, I said Germany screwed up twice. Well, the first one was the launching of Operation Barbarossa against the Russians. The second one was actually treaty driven. No, she didn't make it back. She actually sank in a storm. Her whereabouts are classified. That was part of it. You see, the other problem was that was a fuck up going after the Russians. They absolutely screwed that. They screwed the pooch on that one. The second one was actually treaty driven. Was when the Japanese attacked Japan. The Japanese attacked the United States at Pearl Harbor. And basically declared war on the United States. The United States then reciprocated and declared war on the Japanese on December 8th. On December 11th, Italy and Germany declared war on the United States as part of their treaty obligations under the Axis Treaty. That was their second mistake. Because think of it this way. Would we have joined... We had no provocation to go after the Germans. We only had a fight with the Japanese. See, that's the question. I don't know what the Germany and Italy declared war on the United States as a matter of treaty obligation to the Japanese. Yeah, as part of... You see, when... See, the Yes, they did actually. There were multiple sightings and actually some very small. That's a good question, Zach. Actually, yes, we would have. We were very, very close. If you take the Japanese out of the equation, we were very, 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 very close to getting into a shooting war with the Germans. If you really, really want to take a great look at that, look at the history of the Battle of the Atlantic, especially between 1940 and 1940 and the end of 1941, when Admiral King was in charge of the Atlantic Fleet. We were at war with the Germans with everything but name. We were in a shooting war. American destroyers were getting shot at. American ships were being sunk, but we had no declared war. We were there. Had the Japanese not precipitated the attack at Pearl Harbor, we would have probably been drawn into World War II via the route of going after the Germans, probably in 1942. They didn't. Oh, by the way, so didn't we. We used a lot of the same tactics in the Pacific as the Germans used in the Atlantic. Yes, they were. And we were escorting combatant shipping. We were providing air reconnaissance and everything else. Oh yeah, we would have been in the war. We would have been in the war. It just would have been a matter of when. Oh, absolutely, they were. So it's one of those interesting things. Now going back to the other two other questions. I want to get back to the Russian thing. Um, First off, yes, the Allies themselves, the British and the French, basically left the Russians to fend for themselves because, yeah, we were kind of pushed into it. Because if you take a look at when we declared war on Japan and then on Italy, and when we reciprocated on Italy and Germany, we were doing it from a sense that they, one, we were attacked, and two, they declared war on us first. So we reciprocated. Now, getting into with the Russians. Yes, the British and the French basically left countries initially like Poland and then Russia to deal with stuff on their own. All they did was declared war and mobilized their army, their militaries, and basically they were going to make a fight in Western Europe. Well, the Germans actually took care. The Germans made sure that they took care of that, but there was also that stretch of phony war where they just sat there and looked at each other and kind of went derpa 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 until the Germans blitzkrieged into France, basically driving the French. Well, yeah, but you have to consider. Well, you have to look at it this way. The French forces were still fighting with tactics from World War One. The Germans weren't. They ran right through the Germans. They ran right through the French. The At the time, the German military was more advanced than the French military, which the French military was as large as the Germans. They drove a wedge, pushed the French back, and drove a wedge and cut the British off from the French. Obviously, for our British friends that are in here, obviously the evacuation at Dunkirk and stuff like that. which saved the BEF, ensued. But the French will push back. Oh, the French army was very well trained. They just couldn't handle the tactics. Remember, we planned the fight. We trained to fight the last war. We don't train to fight the war that's coming. It's a trap we all fall into. No, they were not trained in the type of mobile tactics that the Germans were using. They weren't able to adapt to. They weren't able to adapt to the tactics that the Germans were using, and they were basically using spearhead armor with a little bit. But you have to remember, though, again, those were, see, they were, but I'm going to say, but those aircraft had some serious issues. The Germans suffered from three major issues: quality, not quantity. They did not mass produce the stuff that they needed to replace losses and what have you. Two, they didn't think ahead in such ways. Think of it this way: the German bombers that were used, especially, you saw that you saw how you saw the ineffectiveness, or I should say, you saw the weaknesses in the German bomber force during the Battle of Britain. Tigers, Tiger twos, yeah, but they never. But here's the thing, though. I'll give you a great example: the M4 Sherman, U.S. medium tank. Everyone knows the Sherman tank, right? Let's put it this way: were they good? Not really. Not against a Panther or a Leopard or a Tiger tank. They got ripped apart. But here's the thing, though: for every one Tiger, every one tank that they could put out, we're putting out 50. You couldn't kill them all. Yeah, see that? Thank you. You could sit there and you could put those tanks. We could replace those tanks like that. The Germans couldn't. You overwhelmed with numbers. Now, obviously, the U.S. developed a better tank towards the end of World War II, and we introduced our first main heavy battle tank. But the M4s, they were it. My favorite tank by the looks. This is one of those few times when I have to go with the modern tank. I love the Abrams. They are a sexy beast. But see, here's the thing, though, and going back to the German bombers, the Germans excelled in making a lot of medium bombers. Oh, the Abrams is the bomb diggity. Tiger MK1. The Germans really never could rapidly adapt when they were pushed to do so. No. M1A2, baby. Upgrades. But what I'm saying is, like, the Germans never really could keep up with the changes and changes and stuff like that. Okay, so the story of the Germans, especially later in the war, when the U.S. production of tanks and vehicles and aircraft were overwhelming, where we're just pouring in, where we were, or us and our allies were just using all that. We're just getting all this material being put out by the United States. Let's put it this way: did the Germans have an answer to the P-51 until the Messerschmitt 262 came out? And then when the 262 did come out, and I believe, what was it, the Comet? No, that was British. Someone help me out here. What was the I did the Messerschmitt, and I did the, was it the 181? Which was the rocket propelled one, not the jet, not the ramjet. So 190. Okay, I was in the realm. I forgot the other one. I know the 262, the Messerschmitt 262, but if you think of it this way, it took till late 1944 for the Germans to push out that aircraft to counter the P-51 Mustang. But the thing was, it was a too little, too late type of thing. They never could produce them in the numbers necessary to win. Part of it was due to the depletion of their manufacturing because of relentless pressure due to lack of resources, bombing, and other assorted stuff. They did, because once they found the weakness of the 262, the P-51s ripped the things apart. That just tells you how good the P-51 was. It was a great aircraft. Well, the best. It was probably one of the best piston-driven fighter planes ever made. I mean, there was a few others you could probably throw out and throw in that list, but when you think about it, the Germans were too little, too late. Could they? Yes. Spitfire was a great aircraft, but you know something though? If I was gonna pick another aircraft, let's put it this way: if you're looking aircraft to aircraft, probably some of the best fighters of World War II. Yes, Spitfire was a great aircraft, and considering what it did with the taking on its German Mitsubishi, not Mitsubishi, but Messerschmitt counterpart. But when it actually when it actually squared off against the Zero, it got wrecked. So did a lot of American aircraft, the P-40, the P-39 Air Cobra, the F-4F Wildcat. P-38 did a great job on those things. They didn't. The Japanese and the Germans didn't like that aircraft. It was also kind of weird, but actually, probably one of the the best fighter aircraft that were built in World War II. All three of them, I would probably say, were American. That was one of them. But you're also forgetting the F6F Hellcat, which was specifically designed right after we found an almost intact Zero on one of the Aleutian Islands that was shot down. I have too. P-51s are sexy. But the Corsair, the F4U Vaunt Corsair, and the Grumman F6F Hellcat, fantastic. Oh yeah. So yeah, it was like it was those two. Those two aircraft are incredible. I mean, they were built to take on. A lot of people did forget that the yes, very true. But out of those three fighters that we did, we also forgot about the another fighter that people seem to always forget. That was just pure toughness that the Germans didn't like very much. Was the P-39? The was it the P-39? Yeah, the P-39, the flying wheelbarrow. Kermit Weeks, ring a bell. A little bit. You may have to refresh my memory. You like this, Exaflex? Thank you. All right. I'll do what the man says. Okay. Ooh, trainer. Huh. Wow. Okay then. Ha ha ha. Actually, I think right here he has a Wildcat F4F. Hold on a second here. Yeah, he has a P-51C, an AT-6 trainer, the Grumman F4F Wildcat, and a Stinson L1 Vigilant. I'll have to do that. B-25, B-26. My one of my great uncles was a gunner on a B-25, shot down over Germany. But yeah, that's an impressive collection. Ooh. Let's see, where are we? Probably do a few more minutes. Don't want to stretch it out too long. But yeah, it's USS Alabama. Nice. Oh, really? Oh, that sucks. Lived in Alabama for 29 years. I'm guessing you made the trip over to go see her, huh? Here, let me pop this up for you. Where is it? Albums, favorites. Where are you? Gotta have it. There it is. Be kind of tough to see. Lancaster was a damn good bomber. By the way, Adam, she's small. That look familiar? Yep. Do you know which South Dakota class battleship that is? That was taken. That picture was taken in Fall River, Massachusetts. I took that picture. That is not the Alabama. It's her sister, Massachusetts. I live about 20 or so minutes away from Battleship Cove, which is down in Fall River, Massachusetts. BB 59 is there. Yeah, that's the bridge that goes. That's the. That's the Swansea Bridge. But yeah, I live pretty much right down the street. Well, she had well, she was the fourth sister of four. She was the fourth ship of a four-ship line. The South Dakota class obviously started with USS South Dakota, USS Indiana, USS Massachusetts, and USS Alabama. BB 57, 58, 59, and 60. They succeeded BB 55 and BB 56, BB 55 being North Carolina, and 56. 56 was the USS Washington. Nice. By the way, we do have another kind of cool ship that you can go see here, in case anybody ever wanted to. Oh, there we go. Anybody know what that ship is? Give you three guesses. Nobody gonna guess? Really, nobody? Yikes. Well, the picture of that ship I just showed you. Well, she is 16-inch 45 caliber guns. Can't go wrong. You know what's better than 16-inch 45 caliber guns? 16-inch 50 caliber guns. And that would be the next four ships after her. BB 61, 62, 63, and 64. The last four are battleships built by the United States. And that would be the Iowas. Iowa, New Jersey, Missouri, and Wisconsin. Now, that ship, that picture I just showed you, no, not many people have. The last of the battleships, the U.S. battleships, went out of service in 1993. Well, they were finally decommissioned, and all four of them have been turned into museum ships. Two are on the East Coast, two are on the West Coast. New Jersey is... Huh. I was getting out of the Marine Corps in 93. USS New Jersey is in Camden, New Jersey, and USS Wisconsin is in Norfolk, Virginia. On the West Coast, I believe Long Beach is where USS Iowa is, and USS Missouri is at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Now, well, at least you were born in the right month. August is a good month. So I'll ask you this question. I just did this to make sure I could scare the crap out of you, Dr. Ghost. And welcome to the stream, my dude. Now, that picture I just showed you guys, no one even ventured to guess what it was. Y'all are disappointing me tonight. Alright, I'll show it one more time. Let's see if somebody can get this. Man. Alright. Anyone? This is the picture. Bounty? No. This is what Bounty would want to grow up to be. Constitution! Give that man a cigar. Independence. Essex. It is Constitution. Yes, you win. You win a little respect in the chat. Good job. Yay. Yep, the oldest commissioned warship still afloat. And before my British friends get all up in arms, yes, I know HMS Victory is the oldest commissioned warship in the world. But the word you got to pay attention to is afloat. Actually, the USS Constellation is still around, too. She's in Baltimore. Well, she's a little famous. Just a little. Nothing like being 36-0. She won 36 engagements and lost none. So, hey, you know, they did something right with that ship. Not to mention the fact, I know I've said this before, but now, Constitution is still an active commissioned ship in the United States Navy. So she is crewed by sailors. I play World of Warship Blitz. Oh, the mobile. No, she's not fighting anymore. She's part of the education school, the education command. But she still is a fully commissioned naval warship. And to make it funny, she is the only ship in current commission. Understandable. But she is the only ship in current commission in the United States Navy that has seen combat. Granted, it was 200 something plus years ago, but that's an interesting tell that she's the only ship currently in commission that has seen combat. Hey, you can't talk about the U.S. Navy and not talk about Old Ironsides. She is the Navy. She was the beginning of the United States Navy. She's one of the original. Oh, 1701. No bloody A, no bloody B, no bloody C, and no bloody D. Enterprise CV6. What can you say about that? That warship was fantastic. At all intents and purposes, by the way, the Enterprise 1701 was cool. Nice, you know. But I do like the Enterprise, the Sovereign class. She's out fucking standing. She's a ginormous ass kicker. Of course, I would have to give my second place to the Defiant class. Well, Enterprise is king in a lot of places. And since they decommissioned the previous CVN 65, her name is coming back on a new Gerald R. Ford class carrier. So we will have another USS Enterprise. And the name will keep rolling. And add into the Enterprise talk. Not only have we had ships named Enterprise, we've had science fiction ships named Enterprise. Does anybody know that we actually had a space shuttle named Enterprise? I'll have to check into that. Oh, so we get the Star Trek sucks from Dr. Ghost, and then Exerflex chimes in with his mind-numbing comment, and a rental car company. But yes, there was a space shuttle named Enterprise. Huh. According to Google. I'll have to take a look at that. I'll have to confirm that. Confirm. Need to confirm. Where are we time wise? Yeah, it does. You know Wikipedia fucks up all the time too, right, Exerflex? Yeet. I like my Bugatti. If I had the money for a Bugatti, I probably wouldn't buy it. Oh, Enterprise had more than 20 battle stars. That would be hard to do considering there's some real illustrious names out there that probably have received honors. But we will definitely look into that. See what is up with that. I am Xbox. Oh, wait a minute. We got a screenshot from Dr. Ghost. Stand by. New Jersey BB-62 is the most decorated battleship in naval history. It's a battleship. All right. Extraflex, why don't you tell him that? Huh? Ghost, did you time out? Did you time out Extraflex? I'm getting messages in Discord now. Just so you know, Ghost, he wanted me to tell you to go suck a dick. Well, the reason why I didn't see is because I'm looking at I'm reading chat off my iPad right now. Yeah, I know it's Extraflex. Well, with that being said, everyone, we've hit the 2-hour mark. I'm actually impressed with the fact that this actually was rather lively. I rather enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. This is going to be something like a. I'm going to make this a somewhat regular. Yeah, you got to get good. What ships would you prefer in Legends? Well, I'm a big fan of the Fletcher class destroyers. I like playing them. Preferably the Black and the Fletcher and the Kid. I like all three of them. Um, Probably the Massachusetts is one of my favorite ships. My most played ship, though, goes to HMS Warspite. She's one of those few ships that actually can just hammer the shit out of at least multiple tiers. Oh, God, Exaflex. Oh my God. Really? You know what? I'm not telling him that. You can send it to him. You can send it to him in Discord. I'm good. Kamikaze? Ooh, sneaky ninja boat terp guy. I like gunboat destroyers. I have a good time with that. Sunk a lot of warspite. I don't doubt it. But I can also say I've wrecked my fair share of destroyers in that thing too, including Fubukis and Kamikazes. It's all relative. Because the one thing you got somebody who knows how to play the warspite. She's a tough ship to torp. Because she turns. She swings those fat old hips around. I'll let him tell you, Ghost. I'm not going down that road. Um, but anywho's, look, I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out tonight. I'm going to end this stream right here. It's got I can't believe I got 2 hours out of this. I was very impressed with the fact how lively the chat was, and all the people coming in and hanging out. That was just outstanding. You guys should give yourselves a very big round of applause. You guys really drove the stream. I very much appreciate it. Yeah, Warspite's a great ship, dude. I mean, she can literally. There's very few ships in there that you can actually dominate 3 tiers with, and you can do that. And Warspite can do that because she can play in tier 4, tier 5, and tier 6, and she can hold her own in tier 6. Um, one of the things I am going to do is I do want to do these streams from time to time, but what I'm going to be looking, Texas can too, to a point. Um, one she got good AA. One thing I want to have this I want to do is I want this to be driven by you guys. I want you to one thing I'd like to ask you to do is definitely throw some comments down below into this particular stream. I want to see if there's any topics you guys would like to go over. With the exception of politics, I'm not going down that road. That's like opening up Pandora's box and jamming. I'd rather jam myself in the eyes with a hot poker than do politics. Um, but the one thing is like throw some comments down below in this would be very much appreciated. See if I can pull some topics for the next time I go and do this, because I very much like to be able to have another engaging chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Look, you guys drove this chat. I was very much impressed with it. Very much impressed with it. With you guys. So, very much definitely throw some comments down there. Thank you, Ghost. I was getting ready to do that myself. So anyway, throw those comments down below. I want to find some topics for the next time I do this. I will post up on my community page when the next one of these is going to happen, and we can get this planned out. Outstanding. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. Yes, Adam, he did it again. So with that being said, everyone, thank you again. If you're over on the Twitch side, make sure you hit follow, hit that notification bell so you know when the next edition of the Chill Zone is going to be coming on. Here on the YouTube side, everyone, make sure you smash, hit, beat, molest, kill, nuke, whatever that like button. Very much appreciated. If you haven't subbed to the channel, make sure you do so. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we're going to be coming back on. And I please, please, please throw some comments down below. I want you guys to help me pick the next thing we can start chatting about here on this particular type of thing. So we're going to be doing this going forward, called Chilling on the Couch and such. So want to make sure that we go ahead and do that. And I want to thank my friends over on Facebook for hanging out with us tonight too. Very much appreciate it. No worries, Ghost. I'm glad you showed up. And thank you for timing out Extraflex. I very much appreciate it. Again, guys, you drove this stream tonight, and I very much appreciate it, and thank you very much. And no, the old man is not sleepy. All right, everyone. Everyone have yourself a wonderful night. And peace.